Hi, and welcome to today's inquiry for 2010. What I have done today is to go and find someone down on campus at the bottom in the construction trades vocational section. I was going to speak with one individual, teacher, but he was not able to speak with me this week, so I will have to go on Friday and speak with another individual teacher. I tried to talk with one prof, but he ran away from me. He walked through his building, which I didn't want to follow him through, so I walked around, and he was halfway across the street. But I will find someone to talk to. I spoke with a student, construction worker. He said, I asked him the question, why is wood a good construction material? And he said, because it's cheap. And then he went and told me about how steel is better in all sorts of ways, but it costs twice as much, 4 times as much. Whatever. Then we went up to the geography building and took a look at what a round of wood would look like. And we looked at the different layers of the wood, so going down, and looked at just about how old a tree actually is, the structure of the tree, and happy days, we got a lot of information out of that. Then we went up and looked at where on campus. I was at the top of the campus in a search for looking at trees, and we discussed what it was that trees are planted in the ground, they grow on water and air and sunlight. We looked at rocks. We don't have any iron ore to make iron, to make steel. We looked at the walkway between the building 355 and the library. It is a wooden structure, post and beam, catwalk. What that is pressurized wood, which has been taken, squeezed really tight, and then treated with a chemical to prevent rot. It's easily cut, easily constructed. To drill a hole into that wood is no problem. To drill a hole into steel takes a lot longer, requires more drill bits over time. And in considering that fact, it does make it a much more functional material. While we were down at the bottom of the campus, we saw some different types of wood. We saw some 2x6 plank lengths, boards for building. We saw structures like rafters and truss systems. And we saw plywood. The plywood down there is the same type of wood that would be used for making frames for concrete purposes, which most of the buildings, like we looked in the hallway here, that show those indentations where they were locked together by pins to make these concrete walls. The other thing we saw back up in the geography building were the cabinet that we looked at, which is made of the plywood, flat wood cut from rounds, like skinning and peeling a big round of wood. And by doing so, it creates structure. We get these 1/8 of an inch sheets, which we put together, and they go from 1/4 of an inch right up to, I think they can get up to like 3-inch thick. And it makes it very strong. It can be flexible, but the idea is that you get wide planks or boards, and that is very good for laying out on floors, laying on flat surfaces, covering expanses. When you build a wall with anything, the studs, I have to show you this. The studs can be sheeted over with wood for the exterior, and then, like we saw back up the fisheries building, we saw the wood siding. To take the raw wood, cut down trees, and take the bark off, take the branches off, you can see how you can build an actual structure like a building just using the wood, the logs. and they're stacked one on top of the other. Put a roof on it, and you've got a house. Walls and roof. It's simple. It's one of the necessities of life. It's shelter. And that's basically what we use a lot of wood for. We get to go, when we get to Port Alberni this week coming up, we'll look at some other uses of wood for boats. Everything we can imagine can be made with wood. February 3rd, 2010. Talk to you later.